And if you'd like to hear any lore from Fallout, and I mean any lore at all you have to do is make sure you're in the Discord, and once a week I will ask a question in the lore question channel. The first person to get the question right gets to pick the lore for the week. And by way of Dylan Rod, this lore is on the New California Republic Correctional Facility. The New California Republic Correctional Facility, or the NCRCF for short, was a once NCR-occupied area, a corrections facility, that is now occupied and run by powder gangers. There are some things I'm going to get into in just a moment. There's actually something really interesting. There's a lot of lore on the NCRCF from powder gangers and pre-war stuff that's considered non-canon but makes complete sense. So along the I-15, the Long 15, the powder gangers started to attack settlements, workers, especially in places like Sloan, which I'll get to later, and traders all up and down I-15. And they raided Sloan at one point, stealing a large cache of dynamite from them. That's kind of how they got the moniker of the powder gangers use dynamite, is from this huge amount of explosives they stole out of Sloan. Now, Sloan is the town that is connected pretty much directly to Quarry Junction. Snuffles the mole rat is in Sloan. I forget the fella's name offhand, but he's like, hey, don't go there. There's a bunch, don't go towards Quarry Junction. There's a ton of Deathclaws that away. And the reason why the Deathclaws have kind of nestled in Quarry Junction is because of the powder gangers. When they took the dynamite, the TNT, the workers in Sloan for Quarry Junction couldn't get in there and blow spots up for the quarry. They kind of had to take a bit of a respite away from it, and because of that, the Deathclaws came in, and now it's like that. And that one Cazador hive that's like on your way to New Vegas that are hell, that are miserable areas to occupy. Now, this next bit of lore is considered non-canon. And it's considered non-canon. I have the Fallout New Vegas official game guide on my shelf of Fallout stuff, right? So in there, it talks a little bit about the NCRCF. I also like to point out real quick how everybody says NCRCF. Everybody has their own way of saying it. Some people say NCRCF. I like the NCRCF. This is considered non-canon because it's in the book, but it makes sense to me, and I wouldn't not consider it canon. Before the war, Gene Conservancy. It was an all-female, low-security prison. Makes sense. There's only like 2 cell blocks. There's 1 guard tower. It's not a big place. When under NCR command, it was used to house work-release prisoners. These work-release prisoners were pretty much in charge of maintaining the rail system that went from the Boneyard to New Vegas. That's LA to Vegas. That's huge. But because of the war for the dam, the Legion, the NCR war, more and more of the troops were being called out of the NCRCF and to the Colorado River to protect the dam, to protect the line, to make sure that no Legion were passing through. This is one of the reasons believed why the powder gangers staged the coup that they did. There was weakened forces at the NCRCF. Now, a man, Samuel Cook, he was a powder ganger. He was their original leader that was in the NCRCF. He gathered weapons and explosives before attacking NCR on this base. Again, this is all still considered non-canon, but makes a ton of sense because it came out of the book. He blasted through walls to kill the warden and absolutely took over and overwhelmed any NCR there. They made their own new ruling orders, and then Cook took refuge inside of Vault 19. That's all I have inside of my notes, so I'm going to check the wiki real quick, just so you know I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com. The NCRCF is so small that it only really has a visitor center, the administration building, the Cell Block A and Cell Block B. They have the prison yard. They have the cell blocks, like I said, the administration building. Some of the notable loot here is you could find a Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle cap. You can find powder charge schematics lying congressional style. The 3 quests you can do here is I Fought the Law, My Kind of Town, and Eddie's Emissary. Some notes that are here: if the player character becomes vilified with the powder gangers, they will not be able to enter the facility without its inhabitants turning hostile. If they are wearing powder ganger clothing, Dawes will still talk to them and accept the bribe, but he turns hostile when the player gets any closer. They can kill him without incurring the wrath of the other gang members and enter the facility. However, Carter and the powder ganger bodyguards in the warden's office will still be hostile. The facility is also under observation from the Brotherhood of Steel. A Brotherhood scout observing the prison could be found as a part of the quest Still in the Dark. If one follows the I Fought the Law quest line, they are then given the chance to storm the base with the NCR, help the powder gangers defend against the NCR. The leader of the local powder gangers, Eddie, will be killed if one sides with the NCR, or can be saved if they help the powder gangers. Even after siding with the NCR and retaking the prison, the alarm will continue to sound. The location is ideal for player housing, particularly during hardcore mode. There are beds, storage containers, a water pump, campfires, and a workbench. Wow, I would have never thought of that. Stealing chems on the tables in the warden's office gives the player character infamy with the powder gangers if they are all dead. Oh wow, even if they're all dead. Cool. The NCR Correctional Facility is based on the real-life location of Southern Nevada Correctional Center, an abandoned prison in Jean, Nevada. Each of the powder gangers' snipers have an entry of Conned Vault Security Armor Helmet in their inventory, but the list is empty and it is legacy content from Fallout 3. And if the list were to be restored, it would result in snipers wearing Vault 101 security helmets. Cool. There's a bunch of pictures probably on screen behind me of the NCRCF, some signage, maybe a powder ganger or two. That's pretty much everything I have to say on that, and that, my friends, is the lore.